back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be giving you guys my 10 productivity tips for 2021. Basically, it's already like the first week of January. It has flown by and I can't stress enough how much these tips actually helped me stay focused, stay productive, and I felt like I had the most productive week like in years by doing these things. So I can't wait to share with you guys my 10 productivity tips for 2021. All right, so I have a list of 10 here I wrote down, and the first one I wrote down is make lists. I can't even say the T. So lists are really important. I actually have 3 main lists that I've been making this year, and that is a grocery list, a to-do list, and a productive list. So first off, with my grocery list, I went grocery shopping and I wrote down things that I needed. And so it just kind of helped me out a little bit financially too, to see like, okay, if I go to the grocery store, like this is actually what you're gonna get. So a grocery list helped me stay productive in a sense where I can manage, you know, how many groceries I'm getting per week, how much it's gonna cost, and I just feel really productive and on top of like what I'm eating. I'm just being more mindful of that kind of stuff. Okay, so my second list that I have is a to-do list, which is basically like if I have to go buy something, if I have to do like laundry, wash dishes, or anything like that, or if I have to make returns, like I always write it down. Like I have my buy and return list from this week, and I had to buy like dishwash soap and like trash bags and like random like household items. So I wrote that down on a list, and so when I was at like Target, I like wrote a little line through it just so I knew that like if I come home, I'm not like forgetting anything and I don't have to run back the next day. I also have a productive list. So after the end of the day, I write down things that I did for the day, and I'll get into that a little bit later. Oh, lastly, so where I keep my list at is this cute little 5-subject notebook, and it literally still has the cover on it, and I will link this below. You guys can get this at like Target, I'm sure, like on Amazon, or honestly Staples, any store that sells like notebooks. You guys can probably get your hands on a little mini journal. Whew. I'm getting really nervous talking about this one. Tip number 2 is less procrastination. And this one is major, you guys. Basically, if you have time to do it right away. Don't procrastinate. And I know it sounds so much easier said than done, but I'm telling you guys, this whole week like flew by because I did not procrastinate. I left time to do so much more stuff instead of just having things linger in my mind like, oh my God, I still need to do the dishes from 2 nights ago, and then I can't make dinner right now even though I'm starving because the kitchen's a mess, and I just kind of keep procrastinating.
One eternity later.
If you have time to do it right now, do it right now, because that'll leave time to do other things in the future. For example, like if you have time to go grocery shopping, I keep talking about groceries, but if you have time to go grocery shopping on Monday, get it done on Monday. Don't wait till Tuesday afternoon to do it, because come Tuesday afternoon and it's like your friend hits you up and it's like, hey, let's go for a bike ride, or hey, let's go work out, or hey, let's hang out, or I don't know, whatever you guys do. But basically, it just opens up more opportunities for the future if you just get your stuff done in that moment. So that is my biggest tip actually on this whole list, is to procrastinate less, if at all. All right, I lied. Tip number 3 is actually the biggest tip that I wrote down. I have a little star next to it. This one is less zoning / social media scrolling. This is the biggest thing that's keeping me from being productive, is just zoning out on my phone and just laying in bed, and I'm like wondering why I'm on the celebrities page from 5 years ago looking at their comments. Like, what am I doing here? You know, have you guys ever like just realized like you guys are just so far deep in the social media rabbit hole that you're like, but zoning is a whole nother thing. Like I can find myself, even without my cell phone, just zoning throughout the day, which kind of hinders my productivity for the day. You're just kind of in your car after you parked, and you're just like kind of just spacing out. You're in your own head a lot. So a productivity tip is just to try to be mindful when you guys are zoning and try to snap out of it and try to remember those lists that we talked about. But anyways, just refocus and try to zone out less. Number 4, you guys, is don't overwhelm yourself. So being booked and busy isn't always a good thing. It doesn't matter if you wake up at 5 a.m. and you have things all the way until 2 a.m. It's overwhelming at times. So let me give you guys a little bit of example that I wrote down. So the other day I was on Google Calendar. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna be super productive and write everything I have to do for the new year, and I just want to feel booked and busy. But at the same time, I found myself, you know, scheduling workouts like, okay, go for a run at this time at least twice a week. So I would schedule that. And then I started getting really like, I guess the word is meticulous. I don't know. I just started really like filling in my calendar. Like I put in when I would shower, do my skincare, do laundry, eat breakfast, and journal, meditate, and go on social media. And I'm just like, this is not leaving me any freedom for creativity. So I'm just like, this is like too much when you schedule it down to like the very minute. I mean, don't get me wrong, if you need it to be like that so you remember it, definitely go for it. But for me, I just found it to be a little bit like tied to my schedule. Like, oh, my phone tells me I need to go take a shower, so I'm gonna go take a shower. You know what I mean? So I just think kind of having like the important things like your meetings and your appointments, like be scheduled in your calendar, and then like other things like in your personal life, they don't always have to be scheduled. So that's tip number 4. Tip number 5 is celebrating these small wins. So by celebrating the small wins, it keeps the momentum going that, oh wow, I did this today and I feel super productive, and it just kind of gives you that momentum throughout the day to continue to be productive. The best example I can give you guys is today I went on like a 10-minute walk, let alone being outside. Like, yay, I got fresh air today. I waved to someone. I mean, that doesn't seem like it's the biggest thing ever, but it's like in quarantine and with social distancing and everything, like even waving to someone and saying hi is kind of like a sense of like community. And it's like, wow, I like saw our neighbor today. I like checked in on them. I like had a little small conversation. So it's like you are doing things throughout the day. You just have to remember them and remember that it's even the small things that even count too. So don't forget to celebrate your guys' small wins throughout the day. Okay, so number 6 is pretty straightforward. I put rest when needed, and there's a difference between rest and being lazy. Rest is not the same as being lazy. It's basically like you're recharging your body, recharging your mind in order for you guys to be productive later in the day. I just wanted to like differentiate those two. Like lazy and procrastination is like one thing. I feel like people get that mixed up when you're talking about productivity. Like if you take a rest, like it's bad, like the grind doesn't stop, like you have to wake up at 5 a.m. and keep going and going and going. But it's like, no, sometimes your body needs rest. You need to recharge. You need to take a nap. You need to take even a power nap throughout the day if you don't have that much time. Like go in your car during a break, recline that seat back, and then just like close your eyes, set a little timer, but just like close your eyes. Don't think about like falling in a deep sleep, just like rest. And then I swear to you guys, a little cat nap or power nap throughout the day actually helps a lot. So don't forget to rest, and don't let it be twisted with the term lazy, because you're not lazy, you're recharging. So number 6. All right guys, so for this next one, I had to look up the definition because I tried memorizing it and I'm just like, I can't memorize this whole thing, but basically it is the Pomodoro Technique. So basically this technique, you work 25 minutes on, and then you're gonna take like a 5 to 10 minute break right after. This is just so your brain refocuses on something else. Get up, stretch, and kind of refocus that energy, and then come back to it, and your brain is like more on the refresh side. The idea behind the technique is that the timer instills a sense of urgency rather than feeling like you have endless time in the workday to get things done and then ultimately squandering those precious work hours on distractions. You know you only have 25 minutes to make as much progress on this task as possible. This is so true, you guys. Like I feel like if I have days and weeks to get a project done, I obviously wait till last minute, which ties into our procrastination little tip. But talking about the Pomodoro technique, like if I only have 25 minutes to get something done, like I'm gonna work so hard before that due date. Also, if you guys are studying, it says the Pomodoro method of studying is one of the most effective ways to improve your focus when studying and improve your productivity. So tip number 7 is the Pomodoro technique. Okay, so tip number 8 actually is kind of like hand in hand with number 6, which is get rest. Basically, I wrote down I rest. So I don't know if this is a legit rule or not, but basically when I went to the optometrist like a few weeks ago, they told me about this 20 rule. So basically when you're studying, let's just say you're reading a book, right? And your eyes are just strained, or you're staring at a phone, and this is the worst, especially with like all the Blu-ray light omitted from your guys' cell phones. It's really good to rest your eyes, especially when you guys work at a desk and you're working long hours throughout the day. There's this rule called the 20 rule, at least that's what I'm making it up to be. So basically every 20 minutes, you look at an object 20 feet away for a duration of 20 seconds. And basically it's less eye strain, and I do notice that it does help, especially when my eyes are just so hyper focused. So that's tip number 8. And then number 9 is so important, you guys. I labeled this one as positive sweet talk. Positive sweet talk is kind of like that reassurance that you need, that you want from someone else, but it's really coming from inside. Let's just say you're working out for the first time in a long time and you're in this class and you're like, am I okay? Like, did I do this right? Am I lifting this right? So basically if you tell yourself like, you're doing great, babe, like keep it up, like you haven't worked out in so long, and the fact that you're even here is amazing. And I'm like getting emotional just even saying that. So it basically keeps you rolling. You're not in your own head second guessing if you're doing okay. You're just kind of giving that reassurance to yourself, and just be super sweet to yourself. Like you just kind of like have that, you know, soft, sweet voice that's always going on like in the back of your head. At least that's what I try to do, is just kind of like, hey Kel, like it's gonna be okay. Like don't worry if you did that, like just keep going, you know? So I think everyone really needs that like soft, sweet voice. So yeah, that's tip number 9. Alrighty, and then last but not least, tip number 10 is create a cozy environment. Okay, I had to keep looking back and forth, but okay, this really should have been tip number 1, but create a cozy environment. So I had these shelves empty since we got them. I don't know why. The whole point of getting the shelf was to fill it with stuff, and literally yesterday I went to Target and got like a candle. I got this at Bath & Body Works. This was in our other bathroom, and it's cute. Like, I mean, I think it's cute. So I love spending time in here. I love lighting a candle or having a wallflower plugged in. I love having the ability to dim the lights if, you know, it's too bright in here, or to just kind of like, I don't know, have my space. It's cozy, it's clean. If it's messy, it's gonna be on my mind as I'm working. Like, okay, once you're done working, like you have to clean the office, you have to go vacuum, you have to wipe down the counters, you have to, you know, like that list is just building in my head. So my advice is to not only just have a cozy environment, but also have a clean environment. I think that's super important to have, especially when you're trying to be productive and not have too many things in the back of your mind. And yeah. All right, you guys, so those are my 10 productivity tips for 2021. If you guys have any more tips, go ahead and leave it below. I like to start like a little community in the comment section, and plus like I love learning new tips too. So if you guys have any, go ahead and leave it below. Go ahead and give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, if you found it was helpful, and then also don't forget to click subscribe, and then also follow me on Instagram, and I will see you guys all in my next video. Bye guys.